Buttervision. Alright, word is bond. Official after show. And I mentioned in the regular show what we're going to do here, since Chrissy will not dish the dirt on her brush with celebrity. And I mean, dude, it's good. We were both going to dish, but again, our legal department, these guys, these lawyers.
We can't spell the band.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about, because I said October is one of my favorite months because of all the scary movies they show on like Sci-Fi Channel and AMC. So I'm going to talk about a few of my big favorite scary movies, but again, through the prism of if one of the stars was black, how that would affect the outcome of the movie. So I'm going to start with this movie, Wrong Turn. Have you ever seen this movie before?
I mean, if I have, I don't remember it.
Alright, so basically what it is, a few kids, like, you know, like they're going like down to the lake or something, and they're in the Black Hills of Pennsylvania or some stuff like this, right? And their car like breaks down, it like runs over like a spike strip or something out in the middle of nowhere, and then these what would you call them? Like these cannibals, right? Then menace these kids for about an hour and 40 minutes, right? So here's the thing. If one of the stars of this movie was black, it would never happen. Because black people aren't going out to the Black Hills of Pennsylvania for jack shit, all right? If it ain't it, you better, man, what you need out there, dog? What's out in the... No, so this movie would never happen with black stars. Next movie, The Descent. Have you seen this movie?
I think I have.
So this is a movie where, like, say, I don't know, like 4 or 5 women who are very advanced, like cave divers, right? They go down into like some one of these like caves or whatever, and they're gonna do all sorts of like yeah, it's very claustrophobic and weird and crazy. Yes. And then it turns out, oddly enough, that there are cannibals
underneath, right?
Right down. Yeah. Okay, so again. If one of the stars of this movie was black, again, it would never happen because black people don't do stuff like cave diving and like rappelling it. Like it just would not.
Who says?
Let's do some research. In fact, hey, our viewers, in the comments here, if you want to like supply some data, it's kind of like the thing where literally, because my girlfriend goes to Burning Man and people are like, oh, dude, are you going to Burning Man? I'm like, no, dude. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because I'm black. And they're like, yeah, what do you mean? There are black people at Burning Man. And I'm like, I'm not saying there are not black people at Burning Man, but we literally looked up the data on it, and it was like literally like 0.2%. Like there are 12 black people, and 6 of them are DJs. Like literally Marcus Wyatt goes to... So black people don't do that. Now... This is a classic. This is kind of the movie that started the genre in a way of like zombie horror type flicks, right? Night of the Living Dead, I think it's from like 1967 or something like that. George Romero. Classic movie. Like I've been watching this movie since I was a kid. They would show it like once a year on like KTLA or some jazz like that.
I'm sure one of the things that Walking Dead is based off of, right?
Well, this started the whole zombie dead alive genre, right? This was like the first. Now, the interesting thing about this movie is one of the stars actually is black in this movie. It's crazy. Like, I forget his name, but he's like some Calvin Lockhart looking motherfucker. And he is kind of like the hero of this movie. He's like the most sensible, kind of like, here's what we gotta do. And, in a beautiful, ironic twist, he survives the whole movie, and then he gets killed at the end because when they think he's a zombie.
Damn it.
Yeah, so it's great. But it's a fantastic movie. If you've not seen it, you should definitely check it out. Black and white, kind of lo-fi, low budget, but so much fun. Now this, again, is this kind of movie was... kind of started the slasher genre, which, like Jason and all that kind of stuff, Friday the 13th. This was the original John Carpenter Halloween. And basically, I mean...
It's a classic.
Michael Myers, yes, of course. I mean, and the original... And, the thing I really love about this movie is that it spends so much time setting up the one, say, like, it's like the last 20... 30 minutes of the movie is like where he's menacing these girls, but the whole time they're like setting it up.
The music.
Oh, the music, yeah.
But what would happen if Jamie Lee Curtis was a black woman?
I'm going to tell you right now. This is some real spit. And again, like I would encourage anyone, like our 6.5 viewers, I would encourage to, give us your opinion in the comments. So at a certain point, Jamie Lee Curtis, she like leaves the kids at the house because she's been trying to call her friend who's babysitting across the street, right? So she's like, hey, you guys, or maybe they're asleep even, or what? I think they are asleep. And so she locks the door and she walks across the street, see what's going on across the street. And then she discovers all of her friends like murdered and bloodied. And like, I'll tell you right now, a black chick is dust, dude. She's gone, dude. She barely remembers that she was babysitting. She's like,
would she have even gone? And
she runs out of the house where she discovered her friends and gets in her car and drives to the police station. Okay, so I don't know what happens to the kids. Maybe Michael Myers has a conscience. I don't know if he's
left the kids. She would have left the kids.
Yes, a black woman would have left the kids. Okay, I'm telling you right now. Okay, next one, another John Carpenter flick, which is a huge fave of mine, Christine. Have you seen Christine?
I feel like I have seen it. I know what it is. It's the car.
It's all about the 1958 Plymouth Fury, who is essentially, I guess, possessed by Beelzebub or Satan or the devil. The devil made me buy this dress. That's my Flip Wilson doing Geraldine. Christine, so the car basically is possessed. And like the guy like buys it and rebuilds it, and then the car then starts killing all his enemies and anyone who's against them, shitters as they call them in the film, right? So we know us coloreds like the automobiles. So I'm gonna say that this one basically would have happened just the same.
I was gonna say it.
Like a brother would have been like, yeah, that car, I could make that car dope as a mug, son. And so he then gets possessed and all his friends get murdered.
Oh, damn.
So now this next one is literally one of my favorites. It's not even really a horror flick. It's kind of like a psychological thriller.
Yeah, I don't watch those.
This thing is so scary, I can't even really watch it.
I've never watched it.
You should watch it.
I can't.
But you should literally watch it in a house full of like 30 friends who are staying over for the next 6 weeks.
Right.
Because this thing... The Strangers, okay? So this movie is so awesome, and it's kind of like it didn't really gain a lot of like favor. Like it wasn't really kind of came and went, and nobody noticed it. I saw it on cable, and there are very few movies that scare me, but like probably all of these situations again I wouldn't have been in. So because I'm black and I would, as we have now covered. This one, so this couple goes out to, like, I guess it's the boyfriend's vacation, his parents' vacation home, which is kind of out there. There are houses, but, they're like way, the way they set it up, you see the front yard, it's a big, expansive front yard, and it's like dark, and like long trees, driveway. There's, long driveway, there's no street, like... So I have gone to places like this on vacations, but like literally if it were up to me, it would be like, yo, who got heat? Who's strapped? Who's strapped?
Right. Take the protection.
Dude,
with you. Don't be answering the door when you're not expecting anybody.
Dude, you gotta strap up, right? So this movie, they get menaced by these 3 people, and the thing is so scary. Again, I don't get scared easily at all. Like, I like horror movies just because it's like, oh yeah, I like to see someone get, filleted. But this is like...
These are the kind of movies that scare me. Like, if it's like ghost or, not like paranormal type of things, doesn't scare me because I don't quite believe in that.
Right.
But like this, where it's like crazy people that
just
are
come into
attack and traumatized, can totally happen, and like I get freaked out. So.
I went and literally, and I already seen it once, right? So I'd watched this movie once, and then I would occasionally see it on cable, and I'll be like, you know what, it's too much for me. Like I can't even and I'll watch movies like 50 times, and I like. This one, it's like, I'll see it on and I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not mentally strong enough to watch this film right now.
Maybe it was during the day. And
right.
The girl was with me.
Right. But so I seen it once, and then I go on this trip with like literally 8 or 9 of my close friends. We rent a cabin up in Big Bear, right?
Oh gosh.
And so we're up in Big Bear, it's right on the lake, and their house is pretty much like kind of right next door, but it's a little bit more naturey than what we're normally in, right? And so one of the things I had said was like, hey, yeah, if anyone has movies to bring or whatever, like, yeah, do that, right? So it just so happens that my friend, the African Englishman, Olu, brings The Strangers, right? And I was like, no, oh man, nah, dog, son, you know what, B? Man. And so of course all my friends are like, what do you mean? Like, right, yeah, what? We gotta watch, right? Dude, so we're watching that, and so I was like, fine, you know what? If we're gonna watch it, let's cut out all the lights then, son. Let's really like get into it, right? Dude, there were literally 2 guy friends of mine, like who like about a third of the way through the movie was like, yeah, man, I was reading this book in my room. I'm just like for real, like, and then like there were a couple others, like a couple of girls who were with us who like afterwards were like, I would like go like, and they'd be like, what the fuck was that?
See, I watch a movie like this, I'm fast forwarding. I'm usually fast forwarding through all this.
Dude, it's scary as hell. So I'm telling you, you gotta watch this, but be careful, dog. You might be ruined for life. But yeah, so in this one, it's iffy because it's like I'm kind of a little bit now one of these, maybe a little bit of these uppity LA blacks who like goes on vacations and like goes to like, yeah, let's go to Joshua Tree, like. So it's like I have. Lisa has a cabin.
Yourself in that situation.
Yeah, Lisa's cabin in near Yucca Valley is very like you can see the neighbor's house like over there, but at night it's like you never know. So but I feel like maybe a little bit more rugged inner city bruh might be like, yo, homie, why?
We ain't going
why we going all the way out to the city and shit, man? What's like outside? What's out there, B? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. This one's a push, I think. Let's say. So that is another episode of the After Show, and coming up, I'm gonna get her, dude. We're gonna get the dirt.
Beans.
The dirt.
Just wait.
Yeah, Chris Yard, JD Butter. Peace.
Bye.